Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein with your end of the day market wrap up for the financial markets on this Thursday, the 15th of October, 2020, and we're just about 6:30 p.m. Central Time, just a bit after that, in fact. As you know, tonight we have two town hall meetings, one by, I'll still call him Vice President Biden, one by President Trump. Competing channels, if you will, not going to be together. I don't know how the questions even get asked. We'll find out. I understand there might be virtual questions this time at a town hall meeting. We'll find out. I don't know the setups. Today we woke up and we saw the markets down hard. COVID has hit Europe in a major way. Now they've shut down parts of London. It will be this week. Manchester's done. France has done it to 8 major cities. Ireland has done it. It's country after country. It's ramped up again in a major way. In the U.S., we have it too. We don't hear about it as much. Illinois setting now going right on through the roof. I think we had like a 20% increase overnight in the amount of cases. We're not getting the death rates, thank God, but we are getting a massive amount of new cases coming out, and maybe it's testing, maybe it's spreading. My guess is it's spreading and it's getting worse. Indiana, Wisconsin, so it's not just my state. We're going to have the first hard freeze in the Chicago area tonight. So while the city itself won't get the hard freeze, the immediate suburbs surrounding it all will. Remember, we have a lake effect because we're on the lake, and it will keep us at this time of the year warmer. And that prevents it, but you go out 10 miles, end of the game, you're going to be freezing. We saw the metals come back today. We saw the stock market come back today. And what did that later in the morning when we were down hard is then President Trump came out and said, you know, I'd be willing to go higher than our offer of 1.8. You never know where the president's at. You don't know what the Senate would agree or not agree to as a body. Remember, you might lose some Republicans, but nobody says how many Democrats would cross over if the president said, I'll do everything Ms. Pelosi wants. That could happen. That would rescue the stock market. It might put checks in everyone's hand. Be a heck of a ploy, wouldn't it? Right in front of the election. Don't know. Let's go to the charts. So as we come to the chart action for the S&P, we are up 13 points roughly for the week in the early evening trade through. And remember, we're already in the Friday session. The market also broke that pattern of coming down with these lower highs and then reverse course. So you ended that. You never did quite get to that 18-week average of closes. You're still under the influence of what I term an inverted head and shoulder formation. The head, shoulder, neckline. And when you do that, you basically flip the chart over, and from the neckline, you measure to where your bottom is here, and that becomes your target up in this area. It's very simple math. It's real easy to do. Does it always work? It's a chart pattern. I don't know anything that always works anyways. When I look at the swing line, I have a bull market in hand. I still have the pattern of higher lows, higher highs, and it stayed in place. The market is over the 18-day moving average of closes. I define bias from this is if the market is trading over that number, which it is, the bias is up. When it's under it, the bias is down. And it acts as a filter on the swing line. So if the swing line's bullish and the bias is up, its systems go on that depending on risk and other factors you can enter into. The market tonight, just recently, this was the high today, 34.8650. Just about a minute or two ago, you went up and took out the highs. It's hard to believe you were down this much, but you just took out the highs of Thursday. So I would actually be taking this arrow and putting it here. As long as 34.3150 is not taken out, the market's in an uptrend. Take out 34.3150 and you break the pattern of higher lows, higher highs, and you're out of that. Nothing here without a close under 33.91 can turn me bearish. Where's the resistance? Well, you've backed off from the Bollinger Band, but that puts it still up there at 35.66, let's call it. Here it is, 35.66. We're going higher. It will move with you, not tick for tick, but it will move with it. What about momentum? Well, there's the problem, and that's the fly. You're on the close. Let me take you here. On the close, and this is the close today, you were, on Thursday's close, you were still embedded. No reason to then come out. Now you're losing that, you need to keep it. So a real son of a gun with it. I hate when that happens in these markets, but you're there. If this market closes, let's say tomorrow with a reading 78, 79, not 79 and a fraction, I think the pros will be out. Keep it embedded. I think they're looking for that upper number. In the NASDAQ, today, and let's get to this, you lost the embedded reading by a lot. I think the pros got out at the end of the day. If they were long, it's reason enough, and I don't see a long position here. I see a market with a lower low and a higher high. I've said that to you, but that's lost momentum. If it stays lost and doesn't re-embed by the close tomorrow, then it favors price in the 18-day average making a run at each other. So it'd be a contra move. So I think it's very important for tomorrow. In the Dow, if we go to the close right here, you kept the embedded reading. It's just like the S&P. So now the question is, does the market keep it or not? I can't answer that. It's a son of a gun trade. I know I had a client write me yesterday, could he buy the Dow? And I wrote him back, obviously. And I don't normally do that. I don't tell people with their positions. I don't want to do that. But he was asking a question about the embedded and where it was. It turns out it helped him, I think. We'll see. But you got to be careful here. The strongest aren't these. The strongest has been one. This one. And it's another thing that when I put together, and I'm going to at the end of the year either redo the course or do updates to my charting course. And if I do the updates, I want to teach people that when you have a market that's bullish or a market that's bearish, in a bull market, you don't buy the weakest of the group. You buy the strongest of the group. In a bear market, when you're selling short, you sell the weakest of the group. It's got the most strength to the downside. And I see traders all the time, oh, if that's good, I'm going to step into the others. Wrong. Not the way that you do it. You might do it that way, but it's certainly not something I would teach. In the Russell, I can take now this arrow, put it here. In fact, on all these that are making higher highs tonight, I can take those arrows and say that the swing line lows now are yesterday's, that's Thursday's low. I know I'm recording on Thursday, but you know what I'm getting at. We're in Friday's trade session. In the VIX, you made a run at the upper Bollinger Band, couldn't get there, came right back to that 18-day average. Isn't it amazing how that line in the sand does that? I mean, it's just craziness. You went from upper to lower Bollinger Band. I think tonight what's going on is traders are looking to see, what does Mr. Biden say? What does Mr. Trump say? Where are these people? What are they going to say that's new to get voters over? And that's what this market's looking at right now. The algos are going to take over the trading while that is all going on. If you don't believe so, watch. T-bonds. Market is now back into the bearish trend. Lower highs, lower lows. You had an outside day down today. The only way you break this downtrend now is two parts. You can close back over 175.16. That would turn the bias up. Or if you took out today's high, then I'd be looking very quickly for the 100-day average to be hit. But right now, as of this minute, the bears have regained control in the market. They did so also or not? No. Bears weren't in control of the notes. The notes are different than the bonds. The bonds have the lower highs, lower lows. The notes have the pattern of higher lows, higher highs. Very different charts. So you ran into your buzzsaw resistance at the 18-day average in both and sort of stalled out. Okay. Dollar index right up to that line in the sand. We don't have anything to speak about. The market, as you can see, momentum is up, but working out of an oversold condition right now. Have to see how it's going to open tonight and what it does. Should prices get over 93, 97 and a half, you break this pattern. But the pattern is what? It's really sideways in these Bollinger Bands. It's really not a trend. The euro tipped its hand and fell back under a recent low. So now you've got a higher high, lower low. But like the dollar, it's more going sideways in this action against the 18-day average than anything else. The Japanese yen still looks friendly. It's got the pattern of higher lows with support probably in this 94.82 area. You'd have to break through right back here. And I think that's what, 94, 73 and a half in order to break the pattern. But even if you do that, you don't start a downtrend. You just break the bullish pattern in the market. In Bitcoin, unless you take out today's lows, Thursday's lows, the market's looking like it's trying to stay against that upper Bollinger Band, but you're overbought. Not an awful lot to do in that market. In the crude oil market, the Brent versus the WTI, you sort of found a home at this 18-day moving average of closes of the difference in this $1.91, $2 level. When you look at the energy market, and if you go to today's action, a big break that didn't take out the previous low held the 18-day average, outside day down. So if you take out the highs of an outside day down, my theory is you look for the closest moving average over the market. I don't have any over it, or the upper Bollinger Band. So my resistance, if it got up, would be 44.20. The trend is still up. You are overbought. November WTI crude, outside day down, lower highs, lower lows, complete different pattern. But prices are over the 18-day average. That nullifies that. The two fight each other. You have nothing, and you're overbought. Don't know what to do with that one. Then we take a look at what went on here. Now, if you take a look, the low right here was 115.43. You break through that. You close lower, and now you're trying to come up. Again, a too rough of a pattern. I don't see anything in the heating oil. And in the nat gas, the trend is still up in this market. The first real cold waves, as I said, it's coming into the Midwest. It will move east. The market probably getting a bit of a bid on it. It's a funny time in this market. You often get a break at this time of the year. I know it sounds crazy with the cold weather, but it's seasonals, and you look at them. Overbought, in an uptrend, target if it can keep going up, 336.60, support back at 319, let's call it. You know, today I was using in the Russell my pivot points. And why? Well, I have clients in the market that I've put out via my subscriber recommendations, and I wanted to give them an update late in the day. I'm concerned about what's going to be said tonight in the town hall meetings. I went right to these numbers to see, was I near any resistance points? And lo and behold, I was. So I used this today to, if you will, lighten up some of the position, just because I don't know what can be said. You know, it's called loose cannon night. You never know what's going to be said, how the markets will react to it, so why not take some money off the table? But the point is that you use the tools that you have trying to see what to do. Now, if you haven't seen this, or you don't get and haven't never seen my updates, my written ones, along with everything else that I do, I want to put it in your hands. It's free to try it. Go to our website under free offers, click away, and I'll put it in your hands. It's that simple. You can always call us. My staff will pick up the phone and take care of everything for you as well. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.